Hello, I'm Wally Haas, and this is Rockford on the Record. I'm with Rockford Mayor Tom McNamara. And Mr. Mayor, we had some distinguished visitors in town last week, including the governor. Yeah. So my first question is, why wasn't I invited?
Well, Wally.
So what was the governor doing here?
So Governor really had two big reasons to be in Rockford. First was he wanted to announce what's taking place on South Alpine. So South Alpine, every listener should know this. Third most traveled road, the worst pavement condition index for most Rockfordians, just means the worst road, major road in the city of Rockford. It's owned by the state of Illinois. So state of Illinois announced that they are going to resurface it this spring, so 2023, spring of 2023, will be totally resurfaced. They've also agreed to enter into a jurisdictional transfer with the city of Rockford. So that means we will now take ownership of South Alpine. But before we take ownership of it, that's going to be about a 5-year deal. Because before we take ownership of it, we're going to totally reconstruct South Alpine. That'll have bike paths, new lighting, be much better for pedestrians, for cyclists, as well as vehicular traffic. So that was one reason. Second reason he was in town was he was providing the second tranche of funding for workforce development out at the airport, specifically with a company called AAR. And AAR does a lot of maintenance on United airplanes and other airplanes. And so the governor provided $2.6 million. AAR is a pretty neat story. In 2019, they had 89 employees. Today, they have 356 because of that first tranche of 2.6. Now we got the second tranche, and we'll be well past 450 employees out at AAR. Another neat piece to that story is right across the street from AAR is Rock Valley College aviation maintenance degree. So a person can literally in Rockford go out, get an aviation maintenance degree, walk across a parking lot and get a full-time livable wage job. It's a really wonderful partnership.
Well, that's been a wonderful partnership that's been going on for 5 years, a little bit, maybe even a little bit longer, so it's a good thing. So what else did the governor bring with him?
So those were the two big things. When you're talking about the funding for South Alpine, it can be $40 to $50 million. When you're talking about the funding for AAR, you're looking at $2.6 million. We did have another guest that came into town, which was Senator Duckworth. And so we've been working really hard, and hopefully Rockford residents see this, of building relationships with the state to bring money in, but also with our federal partners. And Senator Tammy Duckworth came in and provided the city of Rockford's fire department $1 million. And that $1 million is for our emergency operations center. I think there's been no shortages of emergencies. If it's large events, if it's COVID-19, whatever those emergencies may be, we have all seen in the last several years the importance of having a really strong and well-equipped and outfitted emergency operations center. And so this will totally revamp the Emergency Operations Center over at Fire Department headquarters in downtown Rockford.
In my experience, and I've been a journalist in this community for 40 years, it seems like the last few years your relationships with state and federal legislators has been the best it's ever been.
Yeah, so I can't speak to all of the previous administrations, but I can tell you we work incredibly hard. It takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of time outside of this office to get to Springfield and meet them where they're at, get to Washington, D.C. and talk to them about what's going on and be engaged in some of the work that they want to accomplish, if it's serving on different committees. And so we have been very purposeful and deliberate about building those relationships, and I really do think that it's paying dividends for our community.
Well, relationships matter. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. That's it for this episode of Rockford on the Record. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to our channel. And until next time, I'm Wally Haas.